blastmusic247.com. We're changing the industry one artist at a time.
Welcome back to another episode of Moments with Myra. Today we are diving into a powerful conversation with the man of faith and vision, Pastor Kerry L Worthy, of Revealed Word Fire of Ministries. Pastor Worthy is known for his passion for helping people break free from fear, walking boldly in faith, and keep moving forward no matter the obstacles. He is currently leading an inspiring series called Heart of a Man, where he explores what it truly means to stand firm, lead with courage, and lead with purpose. In this episode, we'll talk about faith, fear, and forward motion, and how each of us can apply these principles in our daily lives. Get ready for a transparent and uplifting dialogue with Pastor Kerry. Pastor Kerry, for those who may not know you, can you share a little bit about your journey and your calling into ministry?
Yes, I'll be glad to do so. Well, I'm originally from Winston-Salem. I was born and raised. I currently reside in Kernersville, where I've been living for approximately 12 to 15 years. My journey really developed at the age of 33 when I received the infilling of the Holy Spirit. Beforehand, I was like everyone else, experiencing the trials of life. I served as an armor bearer, as a Sunday school teacher. Then I became a minister. Then I became an elder. I've been preaching currently 17 years, and I've been ordained 14 years. Now, I've been a pastor for a year and approximately 9 months, thanks to my friend and spiritual brother, Pastor Kerry Senior. I received a BA in Christian Studies, and it's just been a hunger and a passion for helping God's people come to the understanding of who he is and the importance of having a concrete relationship with him. Mm-hmm.
So what inspired you to begin the series Heart of a Man?
I'm glad you asked. Well, having experiencing life in general and going through as a man, there was different topics God allowed me to speak upon. And God showed me how men were boxing themselves in an area where they needed release, because men by nature are very prideful, very self-contained. They don't like to share information, because unfortunately men have trouble expressing their emotions and their feelings due to fear of either retaliation or persecution. I wanted to shine a light into these areas to encourage them to learn how to speak out. And in the process, they would be delivered from the different afflictions they were going through.
So when you think about the title, Heart of a Man, what does it mean to you personally?
Well, as a man, it is my personal thoughts from my perspective. I'm very open when I'm speaking to individuals. And I know it's important to correctly convey those ideas. And thus, this helps men. So Heart of a Man speaks from my perspective as a man.
So I know you often speak about the power of faith. How do you define faith in action?
Okay. Faith is trusting and believing the evidence God releases to you personally. You put that evidence in action by not worrying about what people say, but you learn to rely on what God shows you firsthand. It is your personal experiences.
I like when you said that it is your personal experiences. I think sometimes when it comes to church, that's where we can lose people, because I've had a lot of people tell me that when they attend church, that sometimes they feel like it's a fashion show. It feels like they're being judged. It feels
Mhm.
like they are being persecuted because they have different thoughts and different ideas and stuff. So I like that you said that faith is yours. While you follow everybody that attends church and that believes in God, no matter if you're Pentecostal, Baptist, whatever your religion is, there's a blueprint. We follow the Bible, that whole thing. But I do believe that it's important for us to say that again. Faith is your faith, because
Mhm.
everybody finds it in their own way.
Yeah.
Some people find it when something bad happens. Some people, it was just ingrained in them. So I really, really wanted to just reiterate that message that, that faith is your belief in your system, and that there's no right or wrong way for you to find it.
Mhm.
Now, fear is something we all face. What are some of the most common fears you see people struggle with?
Well, I think there's four key failures. Uh, Fear of failure, which is one. Fear of persecution, fear of judgment, and fear of accountability. For men, accountability is very personal because people love to tell you what you should and you shouldn't be doing. They tell you how to act and how to conduct yourselves, but they never really delve with the emotion of a man, because they act like the emotion is not something you're supposed to take serious. But a man has feelings just like anyone else. And if he is not allowed to release, anyone knows pressure will bust pipes. You
Mhm.
put enough pressure in a room and it's going to explode. That's what's happening to a lot of men. They've got that pressure so great that they're looking for a way to release it, and nobody's giving them that outlet. So,
Mm.
mhm.
Or having a safe space to do
There
it.
you go. There
That's
you
so
go.
important. And I think that you're bringing up a good point. Men are supposed to be the head of the household. They're supposed to be so strong. They're supposed to be so powerful. And while that's true, we also have to extend the grace that men are human, men fall short, men have feelings, like you said, and men need a safe space. So I think that the heart of a man, the different parts of your series that you discuss, is a good foundation for
Mhm.
allowing men to feel heard and to maybe feel comfortable enough to be in a space where, if it's something that's bothering them or something that they're fearful about, they won't feel judged about it
That's
and they
correct.
can speak up.
Yes.
So now, personally, I have
Uh-huh.
to get just a little personal.
No, it's
How
okay.
has fear shown up in your life, and how did you overcome it?
Well, it's amazing you asked me that, because when I first saw the question, I was like, well, God, you told me I got to talk about it all. So I'm going to get personal and I'm going to share this. I've been married before. I've been divorced. I've actually been married 3 times. I've been divorced 3 times. A pattern formulated, and I recognized the pattern. See, in my failed marriages, I worried about how I would be perceived by other people after divorce. And God showed me a common pattern in these relationships. And because God always shows you you, I realized the part I played in choosing them. See, therefore, I no longer worried about people, what they had to say, and how they viewed me, because I learned to trust the plan God had for me. See, what we have to realize, even in failure, God forgives you, but you have to forgive yourself.
Mhm,
God is never going to show you the other person. God's always going to show you you, because you are the one who's accountable to God.
mhm,
Failure is only because you look at the incident and what didn't go in a positive direction. But
mhm,
when you learn from that failure, now you have victory, because you're strengthened and you now know how to move in a way that is going to cause strength. So, yeah.
What role does faith play in helping us move past fear and into forward motion?
Well, without faith, it's impossible to trust the evidence God reveals to you. However, with faith, it allows you to do the impossible because now your mindset is changed. You're trusting in a higher power who cannot fail. God is stronger than we are. He won't fail us. We just have to trust him. Mhm.
And so, in your opinion, what does forward motion look like in a practical everyday life?
Okay. It is trusting the steps God has for you, despite the negative thoughts that present themselves to you each day. The person must keep pushing despite the negative distractions. Your mindset becomes quitting is not an option. And this is changed through time.
Mm-hmm. That's really, really a good word, because I know for a fact that your mind can be your biggest enemy against yourself and the biggest stop sign for you to continue
Yeah.
to move forward, especially when you are experiencing some of the ups and downs and ebbs and flows of life. So that is really, really a word right there. So
Mhm.
with everyday life and ups and downs and people losing their jobs and just all sorts of things, how do you encourage people who feel stuck and can't seem to move forward?
Every day I meet someone who's going through a personal challenge. I create a safe space so that they can talk to me. The first question I ask them is there a relationship? Do they have a relationship with God? Because so many people have taught us about religion. Not many people have talked about the relational component with God. And there's a difference. So in talking to the people, I explain to them in their understanding of the word of God, a person gains words that are motivating and reassuring. Positive reinforcement causes a shift in the motivation to move despite the obstacles. In other words, I attempt to pull out their triggers for getting inspired and motivated when they get tired. How do you charge yourself? How do you build yourself? How do you push yourself? Stop thinking about the negative and think about the positive. Stop looking at everything as a failure, as something that happened, woes me, and start looking at what you gain. You gain freedom. You gain self-reliance. You gained a higher power because you didn't just lay down, you got up. So now you just gonna lay down? Get up. Get up. Every day you have an opportunity to do something greater than what you did yesterday. So what? You said something you shouldn't have said yesterday. Correct it by saying something positive today. Speak life, not death. If you say you believe, you can't focus on what's going to happen when you leave here. Focus on what's going to happen when you elevate. Speak life to someone instead of death. Encourage. It's easy to frown. It's harder to smile.
Yes.
But when you learn how to smile, you won't go back to frowning.
Speak life instead of death.
Yes.
Speak life instead of death. Speak life instead of death. That right there is a powerful statement. And I think that is something that all of us can hold on to, because, a lot of us that were raised in church, we know the Bible, we know how to go and find this,
Yes.
this Psalms or this verse or
Right.
whatever it is that we need. And while we're reading the verse, we're feeling it. We know that things are working. But after we close the book up, that's when things get real.
Here come the war.
That's right. So if there's nothing else to remind you, to the audience that's watching us out there, when you're having a bad time, just remember something simple that you can do is speak life instead of death. And that'll help you get to the other side. Okay. So what spiritual disciplines or practices can help someone strengthen their faith walk? Because, there's a lot of people that say, well, I've read the Bible and I prayed and I still don't see no changes. My money still ain't right. So what spiritual disciplines or practices can help them strengthen their walk?
I'm going to first say the reason why so many people are having a battle is because they have not changed their mindset. The relational connection God is desiring is built upon your transparency with Him. So personally, I believe you need to meditate. Meditation is the start.
Mm-hmm.
Then reading and studying the Word of God. You're not going to do it every day. And for me to tell you you're going to do it every day, I'd be lying. Because even in my walk, I've been doing it so long, I've got so much word in me. I don't read every day.
Mm-hmm.
But I do make it a practice of saying words of affirmation because I know what God has said about me. And lastly, but not least, I am a worshiper. I don't listen to hip hop and love music every now and then, every blue moon, but the majority of what I listen to is gospel music because I need to hear the word being sung to me. I need to hear the inspiration of God. I need to charge my spirit. But I listen to what I know is truth. And how you know it's true, because if He is in you, greater is in you, it's going to move you. And you're going to be drawn to God more. And to be honest with you, that's going to cause you to want to get in your word more. Because now you understand God is calling you. God is speaking to you. That's when it becomes real. Because it's no longer in your head, it's in your heart. You have to do things that are going to charge you up spiritually, that's going to make you get a hunger for God. And you can't do that by engaging in things that are contrary. All the cussing and all the bad language, that tells you to do things you shouldn't be doing. What's the likelihood you're going to do it? But if you have someone saying, stay holy, let God use you, build yourself up. You are a king, queen of the Most High. That's going to charge you because now you want to know why they keep saying this. But it's in the word of God. You're a royal priesthood. You're a people I've set aside for myself. I will be with you and you will be with me. God is saying He's calling a remnant. Are you a remnant or are you a distraction? You have to decide.
And it's so important too, like you said, for your heart and your mind to be in alignment.
Yes.
That's the only way that it's going to work.
Thank you,
have
Father.
to be on the same page.
Yes, got to be. Yes.
So how does accountability, whether through church, community, or mentorship, support forward motion?
Everyone needs an accountability partner. The reason being, this establishes a positive connection that reaffirms your need for partnership and keeping true to your word. It pushes you to be better than you were before. There's no I in team. Everyone needs someone. And if we say we don't, we're lying to ourselves. Because when you're alone, that's when the enemy attacks your mind. When you have someone that's keeping you accountable, someone who's not a yes man, then you know that's really a friend. They speak life. They speak to your situation because now they can see things from a perspective you can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible speaks of how we are to put on the whole armor of God. The reason why a spouse comes in handy is because at home is the only time you're supposed to be able to take off that armor because they are covering you. That's why you need an accountability partner. Mm-hmm.
So what do you hope that men and women take away from this series, A Heart of a Man?
I thought about that when God first gave it to me. And, at first it was like a running joke for me because I was like, nobody's really going to pay attention to this. But I started noticing that, in my personal life, women would comment about why you don't do no heart of a woman or what. And I said, okay, you are listening, right? But I hope that they learn the value of respecting themselves and the opposite sex through positive reinforcement and constructive communication. See, it's necessary that individuals are healed mentally, physically, and spiritually before they involve someone else in their space. In doing so, they'll be ready for all the blessings God wishes to release in their hands. So effectively, I feel the series is giving a male's perspective of things that happen in life. And I'm hoping that women are paying attention and listening, that you do have men out here that want more out of life than just the material things. They want to have the emotional connection, the spiritual connection. because the physical things are easy.
Mhm.
After sex, what's left? Nothing. But if it's built on love, if it's built on intimacy, then it becomes more than just a physical act. It becomes a form of connection. So there's a difference.
Can you share a testimony or a moment that really affirmed the impact of a heart of a man?
Yes. When a friend of mine told me that the words I was releasing, they really hit home for him, and it had a positive effect on the way he was conducting himself. And they made him think about the things he said and done in the past, and he's trying to move differently. Now, from a different perspective, from women, I also get women's opinions of this series from time to time. And they always tell me how, they like the way I spoke and the way I put things together or whatever. And for me, it's funny because when I see the women hearten the series, I said, okay, because if anyone's following, they look, you see men and women liking what's happening. So I know they're listening. And then the views are getting crazy. I've looked back at some of the first ones and they're up to almost 600 views. So I know it's pushing. So,
and that shows that you're planting a seed, you know. And I think that it's an important series because I think that it's good to have someone that's talking about things from the male perspective, because there's so many things out here that speak on women's perspective. You can go anywhere and find something on women's perspective, but it's a little bit harder for the males to be represented. So I'm really, really glad that you're doing it. Now, if someone is listening or is struggling with fear right now, what words of encouragement would you give them?
Well, because I am a pastor, first, you have to understand what fear is. Fear is only a tactic of the enemy to keep you frozen in suspense. But if you know God, if you trust God, you can be encouraged in knowing that He did not give you the spirit of fear. You have to learn how to walk in the authority and the power of God and release yourself from this lie. Fear is keeping you stuck. Fear is keeping you from able to achieve the goal God has set before you. When you say, I can't do something or I won't do something, you're stunning God, because God says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So He's giving you strength to overcome every wiles of the enemy. He's giving you strength to move even when you think you can't move. But the power is in you when you shift your mind and you receive what God is saying to you.
The power is in you. That's also a strong statement, because so many people are being knocked down now in one way or another.
Come on.
And
oh God. Yeah, come on.
And when you're talking about the power of you, the one thing that I struggle with is not necessarily recognizing the power within me now. I don't struggle as much with it now as I did before, because, we always hear or wonder like what people going to have to say about this or have to say about that and that kind of thing. But what this is leading up to me asking you about is, when you're talking about the power within you, where does obedience fall into that? Because one thing that has really, really been like in my spirit, and even when I'm with my clients and, just everyday life friends or whatever, I always ask, are you being obedient? Are you being obedient to what God has told you to do, what Spirit has told you to do, whomever, like, no matter how crazy it might sound, are you being obedient? So what does obedience or being obedient mean to you?
Obedience means surrendering yourself to a higher power. When we're younger and we're learning God, we have a conscience. And if we listen to our conscience, it always shows us what would have happened if we hadn't listened. Now, if you don't listen, you're already in the mix of it. When you submit to God and you receive the Holy Spirit, he takes the place of your conscience. He speaks to you. He tells you when not to do something. And if you listen, you're okay. If you don't listen, fine. There comes a time or space or a maturation when he requires more.
Mm-hmm.
Obedience is saying, God, I trust you.
Mm-hmm.
It don't feel good. It's not comfortable, but I trust you. You said move. You said, because it's always at the unexpected time when he speaks. And it takes a quick motion. It's the total submission that at this point in my life, I'm in my wits' end, but you said, so God, I'm going to do it.
The
That's
total
what it is.
submission.
It is.
The total submission
Mm-hmm.
and trust in the process.
There it is.
And that goes along with what my grandmother used to always say, is that we all need to have the faith of what? A mustard seed. So yes.
Mm-hmm.
So Pastor Kerry, where can people connect with you?
Okay. I don't mean to laugh. Go ahead. Okay.
Or learn more about Heart of a Man?
Okay. So I thought about this very seriously because anyone that is supporting me or that's following me, I always tell people, if the message has touched you and you want to converse or talk about it, for now, contact me through Facebook. And I say that now, contact me through Facebook, because if I put my number out there, my phone will probably stay hot. And I haven't figured out what I'm going to do, because I know as time progresses, it's going to be the hot topic, how to get in touch with him. Mm-hmm. So for now, I say, use Facebook. Now, as far as my sermons or whatever God gives me, I use Facebook and I use YouTube to push the sermons. Now, Heart of a Man, surprisingly, the only copies I've kept, they're on Facebook. I haven't kept any because I was using my phone. I'm going to be real with you. All of them on Facebook. And that's been a common practice of mine. Once I release it, it's released. Maybe I need to start putting them on YouTube or whatever. And I don't know how to go back and capture all of them, but I probably need to, because I didn't know that it will progress like it is. Mm-hmm. And of course, Myra, when you contacted me, I was honored because I wasn't doing it for notoriety. I truly do it because I love God. And my passion, part of my ministry, is men and couples. Because of my personal life, that's what I push. So, yeah.
Well, and when I saw a couple of the videos in the series, the one thing that stuck out about me is, while I am a girl's girl and, I'm all about girl power and that whole thing, I do want to hold my brothers down too. I do, even with my clients and stuff, I really work hard for both men and women to feel like they're in a safe space. And so when I saw the series and the things that you were talking about, I was like, this is good. Like, it's good that, somebody can be at home and need that message, and you break it down in layman's terms, and I think that that's so important too, for people to have someone that they can feel that they connect with, because that brother, just like me, that brother went through this, or that brother did that, or whatever the case may be. And in my opinion, I feel like when you're more relatable in that way, you're able to reach more people. When you're genuine, when you're real, you're able to reach more people. And so that's the reason why when I saw the series, I said, well, I need to reach out, because this is a good series. And I could just see that it was something that needed to be, available for everybody to know about. Every man, no matter, race, color, or whatever.
It has nothing to do with color.
For everybody. Right.
That's right. And most people don't realize, when I do Heart of a Man, it's at the spur of the moment. It ain't something I've rehearsed or whatever. It's when God gives it to me. I try to do it at the beginning of the week to help people go through the week, but sometimes it ends up being like Tuesday or Wednesday. But for the most part, I try to get it on Monday. But it's just like the sermons. God gives it to me, and I just go with it. I don't question it. I don't know how it's going to be received. I just release it as he gives it to me. And that's probably why I haven't pretty much kept any copies, because once I've released it, I said they can see it and see what's going on. So
yeah, because you were obedient and you feel
there
like
you
your
go.
diligence
There you
has
go.
been done. And I understand that because that's how Moments with Myra started.
Yeah.
I was in my office one day and it was just a message. No. The very first time I was at home, had my hair tied up and everything.
Mhm.
It was just a message, just so heavy. Like I just could not, it was just heavy. So I was like, well, let me go ahead and record this video in my house coat with my hair tied up and everything. And that first video that I was talking about was called We Lack Nothing.
Mhm.
And I would do it every so often. Like you said, just whenever the spirit would hit me, I would do it. And it just started from there. And I started stepping outside of my comfort zone and being obedient a little bit more and a little bit more.
Mhm.
And so now, we've turned it into a podcast. So that right there goes to show you that you never know where your obedience will take you.
Yes.
That's the thing about it. And you never know who needs the message, who you're going to connect with, and just all of the hearts and souls that you can touch.
That's right.
I'm just really, really excited for you. I really, really am. So are there any final thoughts or a prayer you'd like to leave with the audience?
I want to leave this thought. We're in a time now where individuals shouldn't worry about how people receive what they're saying if they're being truthful. There's a greater need for transparency now because people thrive on realness. Your character, the words you say, they're going to speak for you. I've been blessed that most people know I've been the same all my life. I've always been the type that I want everyone to be okay. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of times we're not okay. We're in a place where we don't know what's going to happen with tomorrow. And a lot of people are moving in fear of the unknown. But in my faith, I've learned that you don't have to fear those things you cannot control. You allow God to control it. There's a greater need of a relationship with God. And if you don't know him, you need to take some time and try to, because it's realer than anything anybody could ever tell you. But because you have individuals that have not been exposed or do not operate in the gifts of God, they will tell you it's a figment of somebody's imagination, and that's far from the truth. So, yeah.
Well, what a powerful and thought-provoking conversation with Pastor Kerry Worthy. His insights on faith, fear, and forward motion reminds us that no matter where we are in life, God has equipped us with the strength to move ahead and with courage. If today's discussion blessed you, be sure to follow Pastor Worthy's series, Heart of a Man, on Facebook, and continue to lean into the lessons of resilience, faith, and purpose. Thank you for tuning in to Moments with Myra. Until next time, keep moving forward in faith and never let fear hold you back. Have a great day.
Don't let the pressures take your life. Just keep moving. Please believe me when I say that our God will make a way. Just just keep moving. Don't you give up. Don't you give up. Just keep moving. Just keep moving. Don't you give up. Don't you give up. Just keep moving. Just keep moving. Hey, my sister, I know it ain't always easy. Having to prove yourself to so many people. No matter what you do, they say you're worthless, not good enough, you don't deserve it. But through it all, with strength and grace, you stand tall. Keep your head up to the sky. Don't let the pressures take your life. Just keep moving. Please believe me when I say that our God will make a way. Just keep moving. Don't you give up. Don't you give up. Keep your head up and just keep moving. Don't you give up.
The strength
Don't you give
for
up.
you is ahead.
Just keep moving.
Don't look
Just
back,
keep moving.
moving forward.
Don't you give up.
It ain't
Don't
easy.
you give up.
Be encouraged
Just
to
keep
live.
moving.
Just keep moving, moving.
Don't you give up.
Encourage
Don't you
yourself.
give up. Just keep moving. Just keep moving.
I know it may sound redundant, but yes, it's a world designated to keep you down. The press is on, no matter the cost. The Creator, He'll be your guide. The Creator, He'll be your supply. 'Cause the race is not to the swift, nor the battle to the strong, but whoever